This is Susan Quinn at the University of South Carolina. I'm going to show you how to evaluate a Carolina Core assignment using a rubric. Let me start by showing you what the student sees when he or she submits the assignment. Notice that as a student, I cannot see the goals that were aligned to this assignment. When I click on the assignment, the first area is the assignment information. In this example, the assignment is also going to be scored for a class grade. If you were just using this assignment for the Carolina Core assessment, the points possible would be 0. The student has 3 options: attach a file, write a text submission, and add comments. Most students are going to simply attach a file and click Submit, which is fine. Notice that if the student clicks the Write Submission button, a new editing window appears. Some students may copy and paste their assignments here. The third area, Add Comments. Occasionally a student will submit his or her assignment there, but notice there are no editing options except spell check. What you're going to want the students to do is to attach a file. Browse their computer, scroll to the bottom, and click Submit. Before I click Submit, I want to point out that the assignment is not submitted until the student hits the Submit button. That sounds obvious, but you may need to remind them that if they save a draft, they need to go back and click Submit before the due date. Also, you will be able to use the rubric to evaluate the assignment, regardless of where the students put their work, but it is good practice to instruct them to attach the file. Now let's go in as the instructor. Go to the class site and into the Full Grade Center. Go to the column of the assignment with the Carolina Core rubric. If you have not graded the assignment already, or you are only scoring them for the Carolina Core Assessment Project, you will see an exclamation point in a circle, which means needs grading. If the assignment had already been graded, you would see the grade. First, we will look at the example of the 3 areas I showed you from the student point of view. Then we'll go in and score an assignment using a rubric together. Click on the down arrow beside the grade or the needs grading icon. Click on the attempt. In the right column, you will see a link to the file that the student submitted, and if he or she added submission text or text in the submission text area, you will also see a link there. If the student added information in the comments area, you'll see that at the bottom. Remember that most students will simply attach the file and not type in any text or comments. If there was only a file, it would automatically open into the large main screen on the left. But because we have both in this example, you can toggle between the submission text and the file. Also notice that you can download the document by using the icon with the down arrow to the right of the file name. You could also right-click on the file name and open it in a new window. Instructors like to have options, so we like to have students submit their work as a file just to be able to give you that option. Also, a note about files. Occasionally a file will not open because it's a non-standard file type or the name has some weird non-standard character in it. Blackboard recognizes most of the common file types, such as PDFs, Microsoft Office files such as DOC and DOCX, PPTX, etc., and basic image file types such as JPEG. More and more, though, we are seeing students, particularly those using a Mac, who attach a file that is in a non-recognized file type. The only real advice we have here is to tell your students to submit their work as a PDF or an Office file type, and to avoid using characters other than letters and numbers in the file name. Before we leave the sample, let me show you where you can find the rubric, because it's not obvious, so look carefully. Notice that there is a very small little arrow at the bottom of the middle section of the right-hand column where it says Attempt. Technically, this area has a light blue background, but that can be indistinguishable from the gray areas around it. Click on the little arrow, and you will see a link to the rubric that was attached to this assignment. Also notice that it says that this rubric is used for grading, when in fact we set it up to be used for secondary evaluation. I can't explain why it says that, but because the Carolina Core rubrics have no points associated with them, no score will be added to the grade center. There is also an area here for feedback to learner, which we won't be using with the Carolina Core assignments. Feedback, of course, can be very important in the regular assessment of student work, though. Click on the name of the rubric, and you will see the criteria on the rubric. If you check the box beside Show Descriptions, you will also see the details for each scoring option. Now you simply evaluate the assignment. You can go back and forth between the rubric and the submission. When you finish scoring your submission, you're going to click Save Rubric. But pay attention here for a second, because this is very important. In addition to clicking on the Save Rubric here, on the next screen you have another submission button. You must also click on the Submit button. To repeat, you have to click twice. Click both on the Save Rubric button and the Submit button to complete the evaluation. Now you can go back to the Grade Center and find the submission of the next student you will be evaluating. To quickly review, click on the down arrow beside the grade or the Needs Grading icon. Click on the attempt. Open the file the student attached if necessary. If you see this one automatically opened. Click on the little arrow on the bottom of the attempt area. Click on the name of the rubric. Score the rubric from here. And then remember to click on both the Save Rubric button and the Submit button.